Hello, my love, and welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coach podcast. Your host, Michelle Hext. Let's go. Are you ready to have an abundant August? I've been seeing over the last few days coming into my feed, let's make the A in August stand for abundance. It's like, I love that vibe. And I'm going to add my own little bit to that in terms of the how. How do we create a month of abundance in August? How do we create an abundant August? Well, I'm going to tell you, so you might want to stick around. So the first thing that we need to do is lock into our big picture vision, revisit it if you haven't yet, make some tweaks, think about, why are you showing up every day in your business? What are you doing this for? What is the vision? Connect with it very, very deeply, and then ask yourself what's going to be a needle mover for the month of August. What is going to be the thing that I want to focus on? Is it an outcome or is it a process? I want to talk about that just for a little second, because a lot of people are out there setting these massive, grand, outcome-driven goals. And if you're like me, we're always setting huge goals and we don't always achieve the outcome that we set because the bar's high, right? And that can be motivating to some people. So next month, they're like, I'm going to get it next month or whatever. Or for other people, it can be really demotivating and it can suck the life out of you. So if you're one of those people who has been setting big goals every month and failing to hit them and it's putting you in a funk, then I want to encourage you to set a process type goal. So for example, an outcome goal is I want to make 10,000 or an extra 10,000 in my coaching business in August, right? That's outcome. Process is I want to show up 3 times a week consistently with my fully embodied energy on Instagram 3 times a week. I'm going to email my list 3 times a week and I'm going to run a webinar. And their process, right? And you know that if you do that and you do the things that you say you're going to do and you do them from this place of absolutely, I am going for it. This is going to be a massive month. It's going to be amazing. Everything's going to go the way that I want it to. If you come into it with that kind of attitude and you follow the process, then an outcome is going to happen as a byproduct, right? So just check in with yourself. Does an outcome goal feel exciting, or is a process goal feeling more exciting? And of course, it's got to tie in with the big picture vision. So if your vision is, over the next over the next 12 months, I want to make $1 million, then what's a good target that you can aim for in August? What does that feel like? So the first step is obviously to check in with your vision and to get really clear about what it is that you are going to be going for in the month of August. And then the next thing you're going to do is lock it in. You are going to fully commit to the idea that you will achieve whatever it is that you set out, whether it's process or outcome. You lock it in, you decide, and you become unwavering around that decision. And then your job after that is to move along and carry out your actions with the expectation that everything is going to go your way. You've got to take action, but you can't take action from a place of this isn't going to work, or some version of that, or some version of I've tried that before and it didn't work, or I've been working at this for ages and nothing goes my way. You can't create the outcomes that you want to produce from a place of believing they won't happen. So you've got to get your mind right? Now, it would be really simple, right? If we just said, okay, so we're going to connect with the big vision. We're going to figure out, okay, in keeping with the big vision, what's my move for August? What's it going to look like? Is it an outcome? Is it a process? One is going to focus on, if you want the outcome, you've got to then do the work. So you're going to follow a process anyway. The other one is more process driven. So it's like, I'm going to do these things consistently over the month of August, and the byproduct is I will produce this result. So you get to figure that out. And then you get to decide that it's done. And from there, you get to show up and take action from a place of certainty, right? It's that simple, but it's not, is it? Because if it were that simple and it was just about mindset, everybody would be millionaires, right? Billionaires. So mindset is critical. And I've been doing this work for many, 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 many years. And there have been so many times that I've had clients come to me that have been working with me, and, they've kind of gone a little bit quiet and they've been, sticking to themselves for a little bit. And then they'll pop up and they'll say, or I'll reach out and say, what's happening? Do we need to jump on a call? And all the stuff will come up. It'll be like, nothing I'm doing is working. Nobody is listening to me. I'm invisible. My leads aren't working. My ads aren't working. Nothing is converting. I've tried everything and nothing is working. That's pretty common in my world for people to show up in that place, right? And then my job is to help them to reset their mindset, reframe things, and actually tell them the truth. And the truth is, it is working because leads are coming in and you have a certain budget right now. And so it's going to take you longer to achieve the goals with this particular funnel and lead magnet just because the budget's not there. When the sales come in, you can add more budget and we're going to speed up the process. So it is working. Let's have a look at your statistics. Let's have a look at the metrics. And then, I'll have a conversation about all the things that are working. And then, as I say, I help them get really clear. Okay, what do we need to do over the next couple of days to get some sales happening? Let's get you back in the sales column. Let's get sales rolling in again. What do we need to do? And so I will guide my clients through a process. Sometimes it's looking at their offer and saying, we need to put your prices up, or we need to maybe take a break from selling that for a minute and let's create something that feels really exciting and fun so you can get back into the habit of selling. And it's not unusual for a client to come back and say, I've just had the biggest sale of my life within hours or within a day of us doing that. And so what I need you to hear from this is that the reality was the same. So the circumstances, reality in inverted commas, the circumstances were exactly the same. Suddenly, they didn't have an extra $20,000 to just throw at ads. Not that we ever do that anyway, but say, so that didn't happen and nothing really changed. The circumstances were the same audience, same list size, same funnel, same message, same things, but their energy shifted. Their belief in the ability to sell an offer shifted. And that's my job, to get them over that hump. And so then they will go and they will have that clarity. They'll have absolute clarity around what they're selling. They are fully behind it. It feels like a really big win-win for them and for their clients. And there's nothing stopping them from going out there and making those sales. And so they make the sales. Mindset is so critical. You can't have mindset, and so you can't have a strategy and no mindset work, right? It takes daily attention. If you are in a place of still figuring things out, still getting things to work, it takes daily attention to your mindset to get on top of your emotions and to keep going and to keep trusting and to keep believing. That's why mentorship is so, so important, because it's even with it, my clients, even with it, will sometimes get in their heads and create some stories about things and then start to go downhill, and nothing's actually changed apart from the thoughts that they're having, right? So one particular client I'm thinking of, came to me. It's like, I'm going to go get a job. And within an hour of our call, she did like a $13,000 sale, biggest sale she'd ever done. Nothing had changed but her attitude. So mindset is so, so critical. Then there are going to be some of you who have the mindset and the, I can do anything, I can achieve anything, I can be anything, right? You might have that mindset. You might be doing the alignment work. You might be doing the journaling work. You might be doing all of those other things, but you don't actually have a strategy in place. right? So it's diabolical to me that people will run around the internet trying to sell something that isn't clear. They don't really know how they're selling it. They don't know how to move audiences from, adoring fans or cold traffic to becoming paid clients. They really struggle with that. They don't have the business infrastructure, the marketing set up to deliver those results. And so you can have the best mindset in the world. You can be as positive as freaking Pollyanna, but if you don't have a framework or a system that's going to be in there backing that up, then you're going to be running around wasting a lot of time and energy. And that mindset that you have that is so positive will be impacted. You can only sustain a positive mindset for a certain period of time, right? You can only sustain a certain mindset when you start to see signs of land, when you start to see the success roll in, when you start to see the proof that what you're doing is working. And left to our own devices, trying to do this stuff on our own is really challenging, because a lot of times you will have a mindset problem and you don't even know you have a mindset problem. So my client that came to me, the one that I've just been referencing, she thought it was a lead problem. She thought it was an invisibility problem. She thought it was a pricing problem. She thought it was everything but a mindset problem. And a mindset problem can be remedied with clarity, right? She knew exactly what she was selling. She was clear about the value that she was providing, and she was clear about the steps that she needed to take to go and get that sale. And she did exactly that. She didn't know she had a mindset problem. She thought she had a strategy problem. And then there are people who feel like, they don't know they have a strategy problem because they don't have a strategy, and they actually don't realize how much easier their life can be on the other side of, really fully leaning into a strategy that actually works. So yeah, I would love to tell you it's as simple as, check in with the vision, set your goal, lock it in, and take action and do the daily work on your mindset. I would love to tell you it's that easy, but the reality is that half the time you don't know the problem you've got because you don't have the frame of reference that I have, somebody like me who has been in this industry for such a long time. And so in that instance, I let my client come along and, spew all the venom, like let her have her moment where, everything sucks and we're all going to die. I let her have that moment because she really needed that moment. But I was able to let her know that that's just a story you're telling, actually. There's no reality-based fact here. This is just emotion. You're letting your emotion get the best of you. And so having somebody like me on board to help you remedy that and get on track again is what will keep you moving forward and creating success. And so that sale enabled her to spend more money on ads, which speeds up the process. That's just the way that it works. So go do the very best that you can. If you're not in a position to invest in one of my offers, go and do those things. Go and figure out what is the vision. What is the thing that I feel most excited about focusing on in August? Is it outcome? Is it process? What does that look like? Lock it in, be committed, show up, and have a really good mindset, but also have a really good strategy for achieving that outcome. Do your very best. Go through my freebies. Go and, look at my content. Go and take whatever you need if you are not in a financial position to invest in me and my services. But if you are, then what are you waiting for? Because the longer you drag your heels, the longer it is going to take you to get where you want to go. And so now today is Monday, the 4th of August here in Australia. I've just put out an offer. It's still on my Instagram. It went to my list. It is on my Facebook. It's not on my website, but you can DM me if you need to on Instagram. And it is a $222 masterclass. And I know I have said to you, I will either be expensive or free, but I have to make an exception for this. This is not something I'm willing to give away for free, but it is also something that I want to make accessible to just a handful of people, there are positions available. So message me, DM me, whatever you need to do to get a place on this. It's happening on Thursday at 10:30 Melbourne time. It'll probably go for about 90 minutes, and I'm going to step you through my funnel setup, and not just this is my funnel, but the strategy behind it. I'm also going to be sharing with you how I create ads that deliver ridiculous results. So yesterday I had 5 leads come in, and I'm spending $8 Australian a day as I get ready to ramp up this particular lead magnet. I've just relaunched it. The first day there was a bit of a glitch actually with the ads. The first day it was on, but it was like it wasn't on. The reach wasn't happening. So I left it a day, and it's like, I don't know what's happening. Normally I see my ads in the feed, not seeing them. So I turned it on and off, and then boom, 3 leads came in. And then the next day I had 4 leads come in. Then the next day I had 4 leads come in. Then the next day I had 5 leads come in. That is insane. That's like $1.60 Australian for a coaching lead. That doesn't happen very often, right, these days. And so there's a reason that my clients and I get well above industry standard results with our ads, because of the way I structure it. I have a framework. Ads happen at the very tail end of everything we do, because the ads are only ever going to work as well as everything else that we've built. So I'm going to pull back the curtain. I'm going to show you exactly my setup, but also the strategy behind it. And I'm also going to leave you with a checklist so that you can go through and create something similar on your own. So if you have $222 and you have time available on Thursday, then I would definitely drop me a DM so that you can get a place on that before it goes. There's not going to be replays. It's not something I'm going to be selling as a recording or anything like that. So you can either make it or you can't. End of story. The next thing that I have is my premium pathway. It is my newest program. It is a 10-week high touch program. So we have calls every single week. I'm taking you through my premium pathway framework. So everything that I take my high ticket clients through, my mastermind clients through, to build out their offers and their sales system and their precision messaging and get those sales coming in, including ads, all of those things. That is the premium pathway. And we're kicking off on the 20th of August, I think it is. That program is $5,000, and there are payment plans. And right now there's early bird bonuses for paid in full. That is on my website, but again, feel free to DM me. So that is the premium pathway. And of course, my doors are open for S.H.E Mastermind. If you want to come with me and spend 12 months with me instead of 10 weeks, you can do that. Now, I would encourage you though to move through the premium pathway first. As with all of my programs, if you move through the premium pathway, you're going to have everything built. And that way, when you move into the mastermind, if you decide that you want to do that, you might not need it or want it, but you might decide that, I see how impactful your work is and I want to stick around. You can move it into the mastermind, and there's always an incentive for you to do that. So there'll be some portion of the investment that you made in the premium pathway that gets added to your S.H.E Mastermind. So it's always worth doing a lower level product with me, because you're going to be compensated as you move into the next level, right? If that's the path that you decide to take. Everything that I do is standalone though. It's not like you have to do this and then do this and then do this. That's not the way it works, but it does flow that way naturally for a lot of people. Anyway, that is it. I would love to support you to achieve beyond what you even know you are capable of achieving. I would love to see you inside one of my containers this month in August, in Abundant August. I'm rooting for you. I want you to go out there and create an abundant August, whether it's through one of my paid offers or whether it's through my freebies or free content. Make it happen, my friend. I believe in you. I believe that you have what it takes to go out there and make August the most juicy, exciting, abundant month that you've had so far, if not this year. All right, that is it, and I will see you next week.